Charles Xavier, aka Professor X. If we're talking about the X-Men, we gotta talk about the founder of the X-Men. First appearing in X-Men 1 in 1963, he is a powerful telepath dedicated to fostering peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants, and to training young mutants at his school for gifted youngsters. His telepathy allows him to read minds, communicate mentally over vast distances, influence thoughts, and manipulate memories. His abilities extend to the creation of realistic psychic illusions and temporary mental paralysis in others, and he can also project his astral form into a psychic dimension known as the astral plane. Charles' telepathic abilities rank him among the most powerful telepaths in the Marvel Universe. During the Dark Phoenix saga, he used telepathic abilities to battle Jean Grey, who was under the influence of the Phoenix Force, and despite the Phoenix's nearly godlike power, Charles managed to temporarily suppress its control over Jean. And in X-Men Deadly Genesis, he erased the memories of an entire team of X-Men after a mission went horribly wrong, and he did this to protect others from the traumatic knowledge of what happened. That's how powerful he is. Not only that, but he's also a very brilliant thinker, with expertise in genetics, psychology, and other sciences, and his leadership and vision have made him the moral and tactical center of the X-Men and a father figure to many of his students. Another significant aspect of his character is his use of the Cerebro device, which amplifies his telepathic powers to reach out to mutants across the world. This device enables him to locate and recruit new mutants, and to monitor those who may require help or pose a threat. In storyline X-Men Second Coming, he even used Cerebro to briefly contact every mind on the planet simultaneously. So despite his physical disability that confines him to a wheelchair, his influence and power extend far beyond the physical realm, making him an iconic leader in the Marvel Universe and a beacon of hope for mutants. Gabriel Summers, aka Vulcan. He's an Omega level mutant, and he's the younger brother of Cyclops and Havoc, making him part of the Summers family, which is notable for its powerful mutant lineage. He first appeared in X-Men Deadly Genesis 1 in 2006, and his mutant ability is energy manipulation, which allows him to control, absorb, generate, and project various forms of energy. This includes but is not limited to electricity, heat, and light. He can emit these energies in powerful blasts, create force fields, and fly at supersonic speed. His control over energy is so refined that he can manipulate the energy within atoms, effectively granting him the ability to transmute elements, manipulate magnetic fields, and disrupt molecular bonds. One of Vulcan's most distinguishing attributes is his ability to manipulate and siphon off the energies of other mutants, making him a tough opponent against any energy-wielding adversary. And his powers extend to a level where he can battle against some of the most powerful beings in the universe, including other Omega-level mutants and cosmic entities. He was one of the mutant children abducted by the villain Mr. Sinister, and was later used by the Shi'ar Empire as a live-in weapon. Vulcan's history with the Shi'ar led him to claim vengeance against those who wronged him and usurp the Shi'ar throne, briefly becoming its emperor. Yes, he's not the most powerful Omega-level mutant, but his sheer power, combined with his unrelenting ambition and often ruthless nature, the guy has potential. Jean Grey. She is one of the original members of the X-Men and one of the most powerful and significant characters in Marvel Comics. She first appeared in X-Men 1 in 1963 and is known for her key role in some of the most iconic storylines in X-Men history, especially the Dark Phoenix saga. Jean's primary mutant ability is telepathy, which she can use to read minds, communicate telepathically, and influence others' thoughts and actions. She also possesses potent telekinetic powers, allowing her to levitate and manipulate objects, create protective force fields, and project telekinetic energy blasts. Over time, her powers have expanded and evolved, making her one of the most powerful telepaths and telekinetics in the Marvel Universe. Jean's most famous incarnation is as the host of the Phoenix Force, a cosmic entity that boosts her abilities to near omnipotent levels, and if you want to know more about the Phoenix Force, check out my Overpowered Marvel Characters video. Anyway, as the Phoenix, Jean can manipulate matter at a molecular level, resurrect the dead, travel through time and space, and even destroy entire planets if her powers are left unchecked. Her transformation into the Dark Phoenix, where she loses control over her immense powers, represents one of the most dramatic and tragic tales in comic book history. She often serves as the emotional anchor for the X-Men team, striving to use her powers for the betterment of mutant kind and humanity. Her ability to rise from the ashes after death has made her a symbol of rebirth and resilience, embodying the very essence of the Phoenix mythos. Whether as a member of the X-Men, the host of the Phoenix Force, or a mentor to younger mutants, Jean Grey remains a very important figure in the X-Men franchise. Ava Bell, aka Tempest. She is a relatively new addition to the X-Men universe, first introduced in All New X-Men 1 in 2012. She's an Australian mutant who quickly became an integral member of the time-displaced X-Men team. Her mutant ability is time manipulation. She can create time bubbles that slow down or stop time within a specified area, allowing her and others to move freely while everything else is paused. This ability is incredibly powerful for tactical uses in combat, giving her and her team a significant advantage by effectively removing opponents from the fight or preventing disasters before they unfold. And as her powers develop, Tempest gained the ability to time travel, but not without consequences, as meddling with the timeline can lead to unpredictable effects and alterations in the present and future. Tempest experiences the burden of her powers during one storyline where a trip through time results in her spending years in the future, though only moments pass in her original time. This experience deeply affects her, as she lives out years of her life isolated from her time and returns to find herself unchanged in a world that had not missed her. And while not officially classified as an Omega-level mutant, her abilities are vast in scope and could theoretically allow her to rewrite entire timelines or cause irreversible changes to reality, and her potential places her among the most powerful time-manipulating characters in Marvel. Bobby Drake, aka Iceman, is one of the original members of the X-Men. He first appeared in X-Men 1 in 1963. Initially depicted with the ability to create ice and frost, Iceman's powers have evolved significantly over the decades, revealing depths that classify him as an Omega-level mutant. Iceman's ability is thermokinesis, which allows him to manipulate moisture in the air to freeze objects and create ice constructs at will. He can generate ice, snow, and cold temperatures to varying degrees of intensity. This includes creating walls of ice slides, and even detailed and functioning ice sculptures. And his control over cold extends to the ability to lower his external and internal body temperatures. Over time, Iceman has learned to transform his body completely into ice, rendering himself virtually invulnerable to physical damage in this form. He can reform his body if shattered, regenerate from moisture, and even survive as a disembodied consciousness in water vapor, making him incredibly difficult to defeat. If that's not enough for you, Iceman's powers also allow for environmental manipulation on a large scale. He can drastically lower the temperature of his surroundings, effectively altering weather patterns. His ability to instantly freeze moisture extends to being able to stop large bodies of water or create icebergs, showcasing his potential impact on ecological systems. He has gained such mastery over his powers that he is now clearly an Omega-level mutant. His abilities seem limitless and unmatched by anyone else, and at the Hellfire Gala, Magneto recruited him and other Omega-level mutants to help terraform Mars. Iceman easily created polar ice caps, bringing water to the planet and supporting life on what is now called Planet Araco. Quentin Quire, aka Kid Omega. He's a young mutant with a genius-level intellect and a potent psychic abilities that first appeared in New X-Men 134 in 2003. Quentin has been described as an Omega-level mutant, an Omega-level telepath, an incredibly skilled telekinetic, and a psionic of highest order. His primary power is, you guessed it, telepathy. He can do the usual telepathy-ish tricks. He can read minds, project his thoughts into the minds of others, create illusions, manipulate memories, and his telepathic abilities are strong enough to affect large groups of people simultaneously and engage in mental battles with other powerful telepaths. Quentin has also shown the ability to use his psychic powers to levitate objects and himself, effectively granting him telekinetic capabilities. What sets Kid Omega apart in the X-Men universe is his rebellious and often anarchistic attitude. He is known for his radical views and actions, often questioning authority and the status quo, which frequently puts him at odds with both his peers and teachers at the Xavier's Institute. His most notable storyline, The Riots at Xavier's, showcased his descent into radicalism and his ability to incite others, leading to significant conflict with the school. And he had such a strange character development. He started off as just the absolute worst in the Riot at Xavier's storyline, then gradually was turned into a semi-inmate, forced to do X-Men work in the era of rehabilitation, and then he actually became a bit of an anti-hero and matured to be a better person, and finally actually became a hero. Strange development, but still a development. Forge. He's a Cheyenne Native American, and his character integrates aspects of his cultural heritage with his role as a mutant and a superhero. He first appeared in Uncanny X-Men 184 in 1984. His mutant ability is an innate superhuman aptitude for understanding mechanical and electronic technology, and his power manifests as an intuitive genius in inventing and engineering, allowing him to conceive, create and repair complex gadgets and machinery far beyond the scope of contemporary science and technology. His skills are so advanced that he can create devices that alter reality or manipulate time. although such creations are rare and often come with high stakes. Beyond his technical skills, Forge has some magical abilities, although these are less emphasized in the comics. His magical potential is rooted in his heritage, but was largely abandoned after tragic circumstances during the Vietnam War, where his attempt to use a spell resulted in the deaths of fellow soldiers. This event deeply impacted Forge, leading him to focus almost exclusively on technology rather than magic. His inventions have played pivotal roles in various X-Men storylines. He has crafted numerous gadgets and weapons for the X-Men, and has been a crucial asset in battles and missions. One of his notable creations was a device capable of neutralizing mutant powers, originally intended for use against rogue mutants, but it has been used in various ways throughout the series. And after 40 years, Forge ascended to Omega level in X-Force 1 from Jeffrey Throne and Marcus To. He achieved this using a device that enhanced his power to invent any mechanism, giving him an instinctive understanding of worldwide casualty fields. Forge can now instinctively assemble a solution to any problem, but due to the complexity involved, he doesn't necessarily understand his solutions on a conscious level. Forge still remains a lesser known, and to be honest, underrated member of the X-Men, but he's a richly drawn character. We'll see what the future holds for him. Storm. She is one of the most prominent and popular members of the X-Men. First appeared in Giant Size X-Men 1 in 1975, Storm is notable not only for her significant powers, but also for her role as a leader within the X-Men community. Storm's mutant ability is the power to manipulate the weather. She can generate wind, rain, snow, thunderstorms, lightnings, and even more severe meteorological phenomena. And beyond just controlling the weather, she can manipulate atmospheric pressure, control ocean currents, and has been shown to affect space weather as well. Her powers extend to the environmental scale, making her one of the most powerful mutants on Earth. Her abilities also grant her flight, as she can propel herself through the air by controlling wind currents. Her control over the elements is linked to her emotions, as intense feelings can cause her powers to manifest uncontrollably. As such, she has undergone extensive training to maintain equilibrium, especially in high-stress situations. And aside from her powers, Storm is a skilled hand-to-hand combatant, trained by Wolverine and other members of the X-Men. Her cultural significance as one of the first major black female superheroes cannot be overstated. She is a symbol of strength and resilience, transcending her role in the comics to become an icon in broader pop culture. And yeah, she's an Omega level mutant too. Not that it matters, it's Storm we're talking about.